What if everything you've been searching for was never missing? What if the struggle, the conflict, the constant pursuit was only the result of forgetting something incredibly simple? In this episode of Old Billy's Notes, a single idea begins to dissolve the illusion of separation, revealing a life that does not need to be fixed, only recognized. Through the voice of Ava, the caution of Lewis, and the clarity of John, we explore what happens when the heart begins to understand what the mind could never explain. That nothing is lacking, because life itself is everything. And once you see it, there is no going back.
When the fog descended, silence settled over the village after the discovery of Old Billy's departure. His notes were left stacked, serving as entertainment for the locals who chose to share them with others.
The joy of spring water. When I compare the joy of being spring water with the frustrations of human struggle, better not even think about it. I imagine what the experience of existence will be like when everyone becomes aware that they are life in expansion, that everything in life can transform and discord will no longer be necessary. I imagine when everyone discovers the results of connecting with natural resources and extracting from them the tools of creation to fulfill our most complex aspirations. I imagine when everyone awakens to the evident logic that we are, indeed, one single body. When we stop sabotaging each other in pursuit of what is already old and start uniting to reveal the new. I laugh in advance, imagining everyone's faces when they realize that all it takes is to open their hearts and let the living love break the locks wide open, so that the light of unity bursts in their minds. So simple, there is no past or future. There is no truth more absolute than this. Life is now, and in this time, there is no space for anger, for one can only be angry at what happened in the past, and what is happening in this instant, even if hateful, will soon be past as well. So, what is it that fits in the present and does not immediately become the past? What is it that continues in infinite continuity without ceasing to be present? It is the living life, the one that tears open the chest, wounding without causing pain, that illuminates without casting a shadow and reflects in the eyes of another. It is the simple awareness or the obedience of knowing ourselves as connected, and that this grants us the power that was always ours, yet was not believed because we looked at others with fear and ambition, forgetting to apply the law that ensures we use the knowledge accumulated by humanity and all other beings. Faced with the inevitable reality of being carried through death toward the reunion with life and everything, I cannot help but rejoice at losing that so-called sanity that only served to blind human vision from its own nature. I search for the right words to translate this joy of knowing myself as one, of no longer doubting the absolute and abundant wealth fully at our disposal. Whole, remember this word. Being whole implies more than I can transcribe now. Any lack or defect in what is observed becomes irrelevant when one understands that duality does not exist in the living world. For if there is ugliness, it is because beauty exists. Thus, both are merely parts of a whole that contains them. As you can see, I can only be whole if you exist within me, and the truth is, this has never stopped being so. There was only an illusion that it would be better if this were not true. It feels good to be dying to this blockage of love flowing through our hearts. Conscious life, that illuminates and brings love to our minds. Nothing can be lacking in life if life is everything. This statement sums up what matters, and existing outside of it is to disobey the nature that brought us here. To seek answers elsewhere, to wander in search of love where it cannot be found. This is ending. That is life that goes on.
I finished my analysis, reviewed it as usual to ensure there were no errors or omissions of key aspects. I always strive to encompass as many perspectives as possible, even those that might not seem relevant at the moment. I knew something was missing, yet I couldn't identify the cause of my discomfort. It was only now, after listening to Chris's recording, that I was able to see it. Observe the following sentences. I imagine what the experience of existence will be like when everyone becomes aware that they are life in expansion. I can only be whole if you exist within me, and the truth is, this has never ceased to be so. Well, I have repeatedly used the expression spiritual awakening in an abstract sense because nothing I had previously read or experienced had been able to connect me with this potential possibility within myself. Now, in this moment, only after hearing the metallic voice of an artificial narration produced by artificial intelligence technology have I felt the so-called warmth in my chest and gained an authentic understanding of that which has always been and will never cease to be. This warmth in my chest spreads an original joy, and I feel as though the rest of the cells in my body have been infected by it. I wish for all of you to receive this as well, this thing that passes through my chest and imprints an uncontrollable smile on my face, which, in some way, even makes it difficult to move my jaw to read my analysis aloud. Would someone be kind enough to read these pages for me?
Me, Lewis. As an advertiser, presenting other people's work is part of my daily routine. But if I may make a professional observation, we should be cautious of this evident process of emotional sensitization that we are all undergoing without even realizing it. Some people are already making jokes that we are members of a sect, followers of a ghost guru, and such comments tend to take shape in a society that seems to have been designed to hinder natural well-being. In this society, only what can be sold is welcomed. So, let's read Ava's analysis and help keep that smile on her face. Analysis of The Joy of Spring Water by Ava Fontans. 1. Theme and central ideas. The Joy of Spring Water explores profound philosophical and existential themes, emphasizing interconnectedness, transformation, and the illusion of separation. The text conveys a deep sense of spiritual awakening, highlighting the contrast between human struggles and the effortless flow of life when one aligns with its natural rhythm. The recurring metaphor of spring water represents purity, renewal, and an unbroken connection with the whole of existence. The text challenges the reader to abandon outdated paradigms of scarcity, conflict, and division, urging instead an embrace of unity, wholeness, and the inherent abundance of life. By recognizing oneself as part of the greater whole, the individual can transcend suffering and find true joy in simply existing. 2. Structure and tone. The structure of the text follows a contemplative and poetic flow, with the author posing rhetorical reflections and imagining a future where collective consciousness is awakened. There is a rhythmic quality to the writing, reinforced by repetition and cascading thoughts that lead the reader toward deeper realizations. The tone is both celebratory and urgent. It conveys a sense of joy and liberation while also encouraging the reader to wake up to the truth of existence. The author moves fluidly between personal insights and universal truths, reinforcing the idea that the journey toward understanding is both individual and collective. 3. Use of metaphor and symbolism. Spring water represents life's purest form, an untainted source of renewal and sustenance. It symbolizes an entity that exists without resistance, flowing freely and nourishing all it encounters. Locks and chains. The locks of the heart symbolize mental and emotional barriers that prevent individuals from experiencing true unity and love. Light and shadow. The text speaks of illumination without casting shadows, reinforcing the idea of an absolute and all-encompassing truth that dissolves duality. Past, present, and future. A recurring theme is the distinction between the present moment and the illusions of past and future. The author argues that suffering and discord arise from attachment to past events or future anxieties, while true life exists only in the now. 4. Philosophical and mystical undertones. The text aligns with multiple philosophical and mystical traditions. Eastern philosophy and non-dualism. The concept of unity and the dissolution of duality resonates with Advaita Vedanta and Buddhist thought. The idea that life is a continuous, interconnected whole challenges the Western emphasis on individuality and separation. Mysticism and esoteric teachings. The emphasis on inner realization, the removal of mental barriers, and the awakening to an unseen truth aligns with mystical traditions across various cultures. Existentialism and transcendence. The text implies that traditional human struggles, fear, ambition, scarcity, are constructs that can be transcended through awareness and conscious living. 5. Emotional and psychological impact. The text evokes a strong emotional response, particularly for readers who have felt confined by societal conditioning or personal limitations. It offers an uplifting and liberating perspective, encouraging self-discovery and a reconnection with life's essence. However, it also challenges the reader to question long-held beliefs, which may evoke resistance or discomfort. Conclusion: the call to awareness. Ultimately, the text serves as an invitation to recognize the illusion of separation, to embrace the present moment, and to surrender to the natural flow of life. It does not argue in a traditional logical or scientific way, but rather seeks to provoke an intuitive realization. It is a piece meant to be felt as much as it is meant to be understood. The final statement, "Life goes on," is both simple and profound, encapsulating the inevitability of existence and the continuity of transformation. The text leaves the reader with a sense of both peace and urgency. Peace in knowing that life is abundant, and urgency in realizing that this understanding must be embraced now.
Ava, my dear, your comprehensive analysis is, above all, a responsible study of decoding, precisely what was requested of you before we began these readings. All of your contributions, as well as the analyses presented by our other colleagues, have been carefully considered with the utmost seriousness. There is absolutely no intention of promoting any kind of brainwashing or forming a mystical sect with questionable objectives. On the contrary, old Billy merely recorded what his sensitivity allowed him to perceive and pointed to art as a kind of laundry detergent capable of helping cleanse everything that should not be clinging to our lenses of understanding. Old Billy did not invent art, nor did he invent the living life that art can reveal to us. He simply perceived that there is more than most of us allow ourselves to perceive. Now here we are, intruding upon the privacy of someone who survived in silence, oppressed by a corrupt system, a system we will further detail as we continue these readings. But I can already affirm that there is no intention of spiritual salvation or anything of the sort. Thank you, Ava. Thank you, my dear Louis. And let's keep moving forward, cherishing the living smile born in the hearts of those who have learned what has always existed. Thank you to everyone else